Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a recipe for an easy and healthy salad meal prep. This recipe came from the Eating Well website and I will link it down below. It is a farro and herb salad. The original recipe called for chicken, but I actually substituted salmon and it came out really well. But you could really use any type of protein with this dish, or you could make it a vegetarian salad. So first I'll show you what we'll need for the recipe. You're going to need some red wine vinegar, some Dijon mustard. I'm using this garlic aioli mustard sauce from Trader Joe's. It's really good if you haven't tried it. You'll also need some kosher salt, as well as some freshly ground black pepper and some olive oil. You're also going to need some Italian farro, or just farro. This is a grain and it's really good. It's sometimes hard to find. I know that Trader Joe's has it and specialty food stores do as well. I also have some cold salmon that I pre-cooked on the grill, so I'm going to use that for my protein. And then I'm also going to use 1 bulb of fennel. This gives the salad a really great crunch and flavor. You'll also need some carrots. I'm just using baby carrots, which I will chop up. And then I have about half of an English cucumber. You can use any type of cucumber, that's just the one I prefer. You also need a red onion, some parsley, and the best thing about this salad is it has lots of fresh herbs in it. You're also going to put some basil and some mint, which gives it a really fresh flavor. And then also for the salad portion, some baby arugula. And the last thing that you'll need is some pitted Kalamata olives. I got these from Trader Joe's, but you can find them in almost any grocery store now. So here's a look at the original recipe that I printed off of the Eating Well website. There's a couple components to this salad. So first we're going to make a vinaigrette, and then we will make the salad portion. So the first thing that you want to do is just cook your farro. So I just have some boiling salted water here on the stove, and I'm going to add that. Make sure that you cook it to tender, and the package directions will tell you how long to cook it. So now I'm going to make the vinaigrette. I'm just adding some red wine vinegar to a mixing bowl along with some of that Dijon garlic aioli. I will season it with salt and pepper and then add the olive oil. You want to make sure that you whisk this up really well. If you have a mason jar with a lid, this is also a great tool to mix your vinaigrette with. I thought that it needed a little bit of sweetness, so the recipe didn't call for this, but I did add maybe a teaspoon of honey and it made it a lot better. So now I just have my farro that I drained, and I'm going to place that into a bowl, and then you're going to pour some of the vinaigrette over that while it's warm so that it will soak up those flavors in the dressing. So just go ahead and mix that up and set it aside. I'm going to put the rest of my vinaigrette in an airtight container, and I will store that separately in the fridge until it's time to eat the salad. So next I'm just going to prep my fennel. Basically you kind of cut this similar to how you would core like an onion or maybe like a head of cabbage. You just want to take out the core and the top part and then chop it into thin strips. If you've never had fennel before, it's really unique. It's got kind of an anise flavor, but it's really crunchy and it holds up well for salads that you're going to meal prep because it's so crunchy it doesn't get soggy in the refrigerator. So next I'm just going to chop up my baby carrots into bite-sized pieces and put that in the bowl with the fennel, and then I also quartered my cucumber lengthwise and chopped that into cubes as well. Next, I'm going to use about half a red onion. I'm just going to dice this up pretty fine and add that to the bowl, and then I will go ahead and add my herbs. Again, we're using parsley, basil, and mint in this recipe, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so good and tastes so fresh. It's a great summer salad recipe because of all the crunchy vegetables and fresh herbs in it. Okay, so here are all my vegetables and my herbs. I'm just going to toss those up, and then I will add the farro along with that was tossed with that vinaigrette, and then just mix it together. And now this component of the salad is done. You could definitely store this in the fridge and eat it as is. I'm going to show you how to prep it with the arugula and the salmon. When I made this recipe, I actually had it for lunch, and so I'm just going to show you how I make that first, and then I'll show you the meal prep container. So I just have a shallow bowl that I filled with a little bit of arugula, and then I'm putting some of that veggie and grain mixture on top of that. Next, I'm going to put a piece of my salmon, and then I'm going to just slice up some of those Kalamata olives. You don't need very many, they're pretty strong, and I will add those as well. One thing that I might add to this if I made it in the future is some feta cheese. I think it would be really good with this recipe since it's kind of a Mediterranean inspired dish. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just spoon some of that extra vinaigrette over the top of the salad. And there's the completed salad. So I'm going to go ahead and have this for lunch, and then I will prep the other portions for the work week. So to use this as a meal prep, you just want to make sure that you keep the components kind of separated so that the arugula doesn't get soggy. So I just put the arugula on one side of my meal prep container, and then the farro salad on the other side. And then I'm just going to go ahead and lay my piece of salmon over the top and cut up some Kalamata olives. And I'm actually going to use a small disposable dressing container to hold some of the vinaigrette, and that way when I'm ready to eat this at work, I can add the vinaigrette then. That way it doesn't make my salad soggy. I get these dressing containers on Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive and they come in a large package, and I use them a lot for work and school lunches. Okay, so I'll just nestle the dressing down in there and put the lid on, and then I'm going to repeat that until all my salad is gone. So here's a look at the original recipe. You can see the picture there, and like I said, they use chicken, but I use salmon. And here is my version. So this definitely turned out super delicious. I would recommend this, and I will definitely be making again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.